Thomas, thank you for €5. Thanks for replying to my mail and making all these videos. Appreciate you, Thomas. And that is all of the super chats. Iraisin2745 asks, will you make a review of the Wizard X220 V3? Let's look at the Wizard. The Wizard X220, I have always had extremely mixed feelings about it. I did a review of the X220 a long, long time ago because so many people were buying it, and there were just so many people I talked to who said this was the quadcopter that got me into FPV, and you can't argue with that. If it gets you into FPV, if it gets you enjoying the hobby, that counts for a lot. That counts for a lot. But my God, this is such a bad quadcopter. To be fair, I haven't tested the V3. Historically, the X220 has been made to a price. It has been extremely inexpensive to the point where I feel like it goes too far in terms of trying to save money. But it gets people into the hobby. $199. Now, once upon a time, for $200, you would get the Wizard, a controller, and battery, and a little charger. Nowadays, you just get the Wizard itself. There's nothing wrong with the specs. 2207 motors, 2550 RPM for 4S batteries. That's fine. 40 amp ESC, that could be fine. BLHS, nothing wrong with that. F405 flight controller, nothing wrong with the specs. But the problem is, like, the ESCs on the Wizard used to just die for no reason. The flight controller used to just die for no reason. And it made it really hard to recommend. But so many people bought the damn thing and started flying with it that I was really torn. And I'm still torn about it. The thing is, here's the thing. You can't review this product. What I mean by that is, if I were to buy one of these and review it, it would probably be fine. And any little complaints I might have about it, like maybe the default PID tune isn't the absolute best. Maybe the VTX isn't as powerful as it could be. It could be easily explained away by the extraordinarily low price. These days, you're spending $300 to $350 on an analog bind and fly, a good quality analog bind and fly, like the Gep RC Mark V, the Diatone Roma, the Nazgul Evoke. All of these quads are going to run you $300 to $350 for the analog bind and fly version. And this one's coming in at $200. So in all of the ways it might not be like top notch, you say, well, shoot, you saved $150. You should buy it. But a reviewer cannot tell you that out of every 1,000 of these, 150 are going to have the ESC pop in the first 2 weeks for no reason. I made that number up. Please don't. I'm just trying to get the concept across. A reviewer buys a product, tests it, and even if I did buy this product and the ESC died on me, what does that mean? It's just a sample size of one. It's very, very difficult to judge. I think about that when I get a product and the product that I get is defective in some way. It's easy as a reviewer to go, F this product. This product is bad. Like, I recently did a review, it hasn't been published yet, of the Foxeer Reaper 2.5 watt VTX. I'm not going to spoil the review, but mine didn't make 2.5 watts. Now, before you go spreading that around the internet, watch the whole review, get the full context. But long story short, mine didn't make 2.5 watts on the max output power. It made 25 watts on the minimum. All the other output powers were more or less in the ballpark of correct. And then at max power, it didn't go up to 2.5 watts. It was at about 1.6 to 1.8 watts. What does that mean? Because I looked and Gal Kremer tested his, and his made 2.5 watts. Okay, now we have a sample size of 2. Unless you are going to buy 100 of them and test them all, you cannot get a meaningful sample size to judge the quality of something like this. So what do? Well, what you do is you go based off of history and reputation. When I buy a TBS Unify, if I were to buy a TBS Unify video transmitter and the second day that I had it, it crapped out and died, I would think this is a fluke. I got a bad one. I got unlucky. I would hope they would hopefully send me another one, perhaps. But their reputation stands for itself. An Acon ESC, a Rush VTX, all these things, they have a history and a reputation. And so I look at the history and the reputation of this product and I go, I don't care if a year from now they've been selling the crap out of these and they're fine, then I'll revise my opinion. But so far, based on what we know about the Eachine Wizard, I would bet you that the ESCs are just going to die, for example. That's because what they've always done. And they're slim ESCs with tiny, tiny little FETs. So, I mean, I think I'm going to win that bet. So I don't know. How do you review this? I guess that if I was to review this, that's what I would say. I would say this is inexpensive. It'll get you in the air. I would point out any problems I saw with it or ways to improve it. And I would say if you buy this, be prepared for the ESC to die because dollars to donuts, it's going to. So